What's going on, everybody? Good afternoon. Hope you guys are doing well. I just wrapped up the show with the Hawks Nest, the joint stream talking about wide receivers in this upcoming draft. If you didn't get a chance to watch it live, then definitely check out the VOD. Me and him go back and forth about the best receivers in this draft for about 2 hours. A lot of good information there, a lot of good discovery, a lot of good discussion. And yeah, definitely give it a shot. And remember, we're doing it again tomorrow at noon Pacific. Gonna do the offensive line, and that might be the most intriguing show we do for this entire pre-draft process because I know a lot of people are pretty plugged into the offensive line stuff. So definitely give us a shot tomorrow. And yeah, this video we're going to be talking a little bit about who the Seahawks are showing interest in during the pre-draft process. This video is powered by BetUS TV, and let's talk top 30 visits because there's a lot of contradictory or conflicting information out there right now concerning who the Seahawks have met with. That's because sometimes you have visits or sometimes you meet with a player and it's not a top 30 visit, so it's a little bit unclear who is actually being utilized as a top 30 visit at times. And that's the kind of valuable resource that you have a limited amount of, right? So that's the most interesting stuff, I think. So we're going to go through the list, and I believe I have, as of right now, the comprehensive list of players the Seahawks have used a top 30 visit on. There are other lists out there that include players we met with at the Combine and players that we met at the Senior Bowl or the Shrine Bowl. Those are certainly interesting and certainly worth looking at, but I'm focusing in on the top 30 visits for the sake of this video, because again, that is more of a limited resources that you're spending on players that you probably have a lot of interest in. And in some cases, maybe you have that top 30 visit and you lose interest based on that top 30 visit. But regardless, I think the fact that we choose to use a top 30 visit on a player indicates some degree of interest. So we're going to go through the list here real quick, and then we're going to kind of talk about what these meetings might mean and whether or not it's likely to turn into anything of actual value in the draft. Historically, the Seahawks have often used a pick or two on a player that they used a top 30 visit on, but quite often they also don't. Sometimes it's out of their control. I have a theory that I think that a player that a team really, really loves and they know they love them, they don't bother using a top 30 visit on because they're like, we already know what's up with that guy. If they already know they really don't like a guy, they don't use a top 30 visit. They use it on the middle. So anyway, let's go through the 14 names real quick here. As of my best knowledge, Nick Emmanwori, Tyler Shock, Savion Williams, Bryce Cabledew, Chase Lunt, Siobhan Revel Jr., Ty Robinson, Jalen Milroe, Mason Taylor, Essa Pohl, Michael Williams, Jared Wilson, Jackson Slater, and Dylan Fairchild is the list. So that is a grand total of, I believe, 14 players. So we still have 16 more to go. So if you just want a quick rundown of the top level information, who we're actually meeting with, that would pretty much run it down. I think it's a pretty good list, man. I think there are some big names on here. I think there are some good middling names here, guys you might be able to get in day 2 or even day 3, and also probably a couple guys that are going to be UDFAs that the team is probably planning to target in the very late rounds or UDFA. Before I go any further, I do want to talk a little bit about my friends over at BetUS TV. There's a lot of sports going on right now. Baseball just started, hockey playoffs about to start, basketball playoffs about to start. There's all kinds of fun sports things going on right now. Check out BetUS TV. Fun things happening there. Make your sports experience all the more fun, all the more engaging. And keep in mind that just because football's in a little bit of a off-season lull right now does not mean that sports have stopped. Sports go on. Check out BetUS TV. Give them a go. And try to have fun. Okay, so looping back around. Now, Emmanwori was one of the first names we heard about us meeting. And I've spoken about him at length. I haven't made my full evaluation of him yet. Those videos go up sometime probably next week. But Emmanwori is the guy who set the Combine on fire. He had one of the great combines of all time for a safety. Physical freak, the likes of which you almost never see, ever. One of the freakiest athletes of all time. So meeting with him makes sense. Interest makes sense. There are some concerns that you have with Emmanwori compared to other blue chip safeties, and I will talk about those in the coming weeks, or actually coming week, because next week is going to be when I talk about safeties more. But Nick Emmanwori is an awesome prospect, and I imagine that McDonald looks at a guy like this and he goes, I could have so much fun with this guy on my defense. He's got size, he's got speed, he's got explosiveness, he's got it all. He doesn't have the greatest tape in the world, and we will talk about that, but Emmanwori was a great way to kind of lead off that list. But again, we've known that we've met with him for a couple weeks now, so this is not new information. In fact, I believe these first five names we've known for something like 2 weeks now. Tyler Shock, quarterback we met with. I see the appeal. I'm worried about his ability to stay healthy in the NFL. I talked about him a little bit more in a video that I did a couple weeks ago. I do have an appreciation for his traditional quarterback skill set. He's like a pocket quarterback from the 1990s almost, but he can't stay healthy, so I'm not super gassed about him, but we did meet with him. Savion Williams, love this guy. Physical freak, big, tall, long, athletic. Could be a really, really fun player. At the minimum, he should be a great trick play guy. At maximum, he could be a stud. He could be really, really special in this league. He could be one of those physical freaks that you just don't know how to handle him because he's got so many different gifts. So Savion Williams is my is one of my draft favorites, honestly, and he's our third visit. Bryce Cabledew, I haven't looked at this guy yet. I'm probably going to have to loop back around next week or maybe even the week after and kind of have him be one of my final evaluations because I didn't catch him on my first pass through. Probably a guy we're looking at as I'd go with almost a UDFA type target. I don't know if he's going to get drafted, but I don't know much about him. Chase Lunt, I'm going to speak about at length, I think either tomorrow or the next day. So keep an eye out for that. Chase Lunt. Interesting offensive line prospect. Definitely some value here. Should definitely be a draft pick. Should definitely be I'd say a pretty decent draft pick. So this is an interesting meet. And those were the first five that we've known about for a while. The next five are a little bit newer. And really, I guess you could say the next nine, they're just slowly starting to filter in over time. Siobhan Revel Jr., talked about him at length already. Really good, really fun. Should be a great zone corner. I like Siobhan Revel Jr. a lot. East Carolina cornerback. Massive potential for him to be a star in this league, I think. I think some people are sleeping on him a little bit because small school. I think he got hurt last year. Ty Robinson was another top 30 visit. I like him a lot. I just don't know if I see the fit in the Seahawks defense. But maybe there's some creative plan here. To me, he's more of a Rams defensive lineman. A lot of stunts, a lot of twists, a lot of creative stuff. It's not a lot of traditional three tech play there. So I don't know about the fit. I do like the player, but we met with him, so there's some degree of interest. Jalen Milroe. I've spoken enough about Jalen Milroe over the last couple of, really, you could almost say 6 months, it feels like I've been talking about this guy. I don't like him. I think he's bad. But when you get to day 3, I think there is going to be there's going to be a little bit of a pull here to maybe go after him just for his pure athletic prowess. He is a good athlete. I just don't think he's a quarterback, but that athleticism could be valuable somewhere. Mason Taylor, apparently we've met with him or are about to meet with him. This is a newer one. Really good tight end prospect. Really good all-around stuff. I like Mason Taylor a lot. Would love to get him in the second round. I think he's going to be really good in the NFL. So Mason Taylor would be my one of my top guys to get. So I'm liking this one. This is a good meeting. Essa Pohl of Washington State. Don't know this guy. Probably going to have to go back and look at him on my second pass through. So next week, maybe the week after. I'll get to him before the draft. Now that we've met with him, I feel obligated to, and I don't like that video playing. Very distracting. But anyway, yeah, Essa Pohl is somebody I'm going to take a deeper look at here and probably make a video talking about him. Michael Williams of Georgia, edge rusher. borderline blue chip edge rusher that we may spend our first round pick on. We used a meeting on him. So if we like what we saw, he may very well end up being our pick at 18, and I'm here for it. Jared Wilson, the center from Georgia. I do like him a lot. Phenomenal athlete, historically good center athlete. Needs to be some development here, but I really like what Jared Wilson could be in this league, and I would love to get him. I'd love to get him in the third. If we could get him in the second, I think that's totally fine too. And at this point, you may have to take him in the second. There was Jackson Slater, the Sacramento State guard. I'm impressed with him too. He's a really good athletic scores, really good zone blocker. I spoke about him back a couple weeks ago in my guard videos. He's good, man. Jackson Slater is going to be really good, and I think that he is somebody the Seahawks should definitely be looking to target in that day 2, maybe early day 3 area. So that's a good visit. And another guy that I liked, Dylan Fairchild, the Georgia guard, the other Georgia guard with Tate Ratledge. And I think we met with Tate Ratledge at the Combine, or maybe it was the Senior Bowl, one of the two. So we have met with the entire interior line of the Georgia Bulldogs. Maybe you could bring all those guys over and just plug them in, and they'll already be ready to play with each other because they did it at Georgia. I don't know, but I like Dylan Fairchild a lot. I think he's going to be a great fit in his own scheme. And I think that's a great top 30 meeting to have. That's the kind of top 30 meeting you want. Somebody that maybe you're not totally sure about, but somebody who you get a good vibe off of based off the information you have. All right, so those are our top 30 visits so far that I know of. Again, we have what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So still more than half to go, and there may be some that we never find out about because the team keeps them a secret. But those are the top 30 visits as of right now, so I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Thank you to BetUS TV for powering this video. I'll see you guys later. Go Hawks. Everybody have a good day. Probably no more videos today. Keep an eye out tomorrow, though. We're going to keep on moving. More streams, more videos. Go Hawks.